Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the RB5 Showcase. This is where we go over all of the characters that we have found or were submitted to us that are RB5. I started doing this because I kind of wanted to congratulate all the players who went the extra mile to like fully max out their characters in their roster and become an elite player. We all know the struggle to get to RB5, whether it's the hella expensive shards that we have to buy or earn via events, or waiting months for those exclusive rebirth tokens. Either way, it's a painstaking process, and you deserve a pat on the back for making it there. Tonight, I have with me the esteemed M4Y15 of the Owls. We all just call him M4.
Hey guys, glad to be here today.
Glad you're here as well. M4 has his own stream on Twitch most nights, if not every night, of the Siege tournaments. Is it most nights or every night?
Every night, so far I have not missed a single night of Siege.
Wow. 3 weeks straight for every month. That's a lot. This is like your third month, right? Or fourth month?
It is my fourth month.
Fourth month. Damn. All right. So yeah, you can catch him on Twitch every night of a Siege tournament. He likes to show people what it's like at the top 10 of the Siege competitions. He also guest stars on the WROL tier list episodes. He's kind of a brainiac, little know-it-all. I asked him to join me because he's kind of a tactical genius as far as DCL goes. He's considered the sensei of the Owls. Bow to your sensei. Last time I had Joker, who had a depth of knowledge in comics, and DuBois, who was the like trendsetter for all the RB5s and the Owls. So I'm glad I'm diversifying my guests. Whatchamacallit. So this go around is going to look a little different. Some of the art has changed, and it won't be including images of the actual in-game RB5 tune this go around. So you won't be able to see like the actual character with the little RB5 in the thing. I have confirmed all of them though via submissions or just finding them in PvP or red alerts. Within the last 6 months, though, my computer glitched and screwed up my whole like organization of the images that I had for it, and it's just kind of a major hassle to put it all back together. So I apologize in advance if that takes some of the magic out of the experience. Also, many of the players from the first showcase may have moved alliances, but I'm not like in direct contact with over 140 plus players. So that list might be showing some incorrect alliances. We did try and reach out to a couple of them, find out some of their current alliances, and I believe SilverFox did change those, the ones that he could. I do also want to once again thank SilverFox because he went crazy on more art. We basically doubled the submissions from last time. We went from like 30-ish characters to 64 this time, and that's just the characters, in-game characters. The amount of players, I think, more than doubled to like I said earlier, over 140 characters or players now are mentioned in the list. So this could take some time. The amount of characters that we have is so enormous. Last time it took like an hour just to talk about 19 of them. Into 3 episodes, and we're going by Affinity this time, and M4 and I are going to talk about the physical Affinity characters, and hopefully over the next 2 episodes we will get the other affinities, we'll get some other guests in here, and we're going to have a good time, guys. So hope you enjoy the show. Here we go. Let's talk about the first character in the list. We have Artemis. What are your thoughts on Miss Artemis, M4?
All right, so Artemis has my favorite gear set, which is the special tags. Special tags are special to me because they can tank both physical and special damage. Unlike physical tanks who struggles to survive against special damage, special tanks don't care. And also, tanks are kind of the best rebirths for me, particularly special tanks, because they are harder to kill and they also hit hard. And this is especially true for Artemis. This is one of those on my list. This keeps getting pushed. I do have RB4 shards, so I'm getting there. So Artemis out of the gate just pokes someone, and at RB5 that poke hurts. And then her at RB5 that AoE heal immunity just erases blue tunes. So this is one of a better choices for rebirths, and we have three of them.
You
Fallen
mean now?
owls.
Yeah. Yeah. So the players who have Artemis locked down RB5 is Kage, who was the first one to do it, and I honestly thought he would be the only one for a while, but a lot of people saw her worth. They took her up. We also have Vincent Young of the Owls, who, if you remember last time, Vincent was the one with the most RB5s, and I believe he still holds that title. I haven't counted this time. But he's been smart about his rebirths. He's been very smart. And then Hate Mail, of course, also brought her up. I think he was going to let Kage have her for a while, but he couldn't resist, so he had to grab her as well. Yeah. So you're all owls, or not all owls. Only owls have Artemis, and I think that's interesting because she's such a great character. But maybe she got overshadowed by the next character.
I know this one is your favorite.
Yes, this one is my absolute favorite. So up next we have Azrael, and he wasn't out at the time of um, the last Rebirth 5 showcase, but his art looks great. If you look at the art, and before I don't know if you can see all the art in the other channel, but the guy I did go on a bit of a tangent when he came out. I'm not gonna lie. It was pretty clear that his passives were completely busted and disgusting, and they still are. And I still avoid him like the plague because I know unless I can CC the crap out of him, crowd control or whatever, I know it's gonna be almost an instant loss for me. So I don't screw with it. What are your thoughts on Azrael?
This is probably going to be an unpopular opinion. Uh, Azrael, in my mind, is the best tune in the game. However, I don't think he's the best candidate for an RB5. Don't get me wrong. I mean, the best tune in the game at RB5 would be great, right? I just think that he doesn't really need it. A similar tune would be for energy as Arcus. When I face an Azrael or an Arcus, I don't really care if it's an L5 or an RB5. I'm gonna treat them exactly the same. The primary threat, right? And they also ramp up rather fast. At a certain point, an L5 ramped up Azrael is the same as an RB5. The only difference I would say is that L5 Arcus can still kill an RB5 Azrael, so that's why I say don't change the way I handle them. It's just that out of the gates, maybe an RB5 Azrael cannot be killed by other dudes, or they can wreck your greens faster, as opposed to an L5 that needs to ramp up pretty well before they get rolling. But otherwise, he's just a wrecking ball. He just probably gets to his peak faster at RB5.
So I think, in my opinion, there are some characters, yeah, that I believe don't need it. Like I think Martian Manhunter probably doesn't need it either. He's like a very good call assist character and support character. But I think for Azrael's purpose, for RB5 at least, you're just kind of minimizing the chance that someone's gonna get lucky and just one shot him. Like that can still happen. Obviously, you plug Arcus in, it's probably still gonna happen. But there's that you have a bit better chance of him surviving the onslaught and then recovering because his recovery speed is insanity. And I honestly still think he has too much. I haven't seen It's been a few months since his release. There hasn't been a direct counter yet. I'm worried he's going to be like Wonder Girl or whatever, with his sustainability as far as long term goes, because she's not exactly as crazy as she used to be. In fact, I don't really worry too much about Wonder Girl anymore. But she's been around for 2 years, and she is basically still like the most prolonged character lifespan out of the entire game. Maybe Power Girl's a little longer, but even still, Azrael's longevity is probably very wide and dispersed. So I'm curious as how long he's going to last before a counter comes out, if a counter comes out, because like I said, he's got just too much crap in his kit. As far as players go that have this character, we have Twin City Legend. He's listed as Kingdom of Atlantis for me. Azrael, Red Frenchie from Viverite, Grandpa Owl from the Owls, and Vincent Young of the Owls. So far, we have 2 extra RB5s for Vincent Young. That's a lot, especially considered he had 8 last time. So we'll see how many more
he has 13 now. I counted.
He has 13 now. Oh, Jesus. That's so many. But let's move on. People probably don't want to hear me hatred rant about Azrael. Anytime I post about it on Reddit, I get like downvoted to oblivion. So next character on the list, we have Bane, which I'm not surprised by this, just to the fact that the amount of shards in the game, especially since the beginning of the game, have been insane. He was kind of like Harley Quinn, where he was like available in every pack for the longest time before they finally removed him. We have Lonely Juniper from Polandia, and a user with the long number after that. And there's like his alliance name was some like Russian symbols, so I don't know exactly how to say it or whatever. But what are your thoughts on Bane, RB5?
All right, I'm gonna start off by saying there's no wrong rebirth tune, and congratulations to you too. But
Oh, geez.
I did mention this earlier that physical tanks struggle against special damage, and 2 of the more popular leaders happen to be special strikers.
Right.
And his stats are kind of power crept. And with the rampant RB5 Lexus in Martian Manhunters, I don't think he's gonna survive long. So maybe I don't know, lower levels, he would be a nightmare for people who are ill-equipped to deal with him. But when I see Bane RB5, I do not tremble in fear. So RB5 brings that intimidation factor. It makes you think twice. Usually you have strategies, right? All right, I see Azrael. I know how to deal with him. I know how to one-hit KO on Azrael. And then you see an RB5 like, is my ex L5 gonna be able to kill him? But then you don't have that same problem with Bane. His stats are, like I said, power crap, and so many counters are around. So I'm not too high on an RB5 Bane.
That's fair. I agree with you. I think that he definitely will struggle against Lex for sure, especially since Lex applies buff immunity, and Bane kind of relies on his buffs to stay alive and stay punching. I think that if Bane has the right support characters with him, he can do just fine. Like if you pair him with Mara, she throws the mens and the damage immunity on him, he's going to go crazy. But at the same time, alone, I think you're right. He's going to struggle for sure. So congratulations to those 2. Anyway, we're going to move on to Bats CC, or Caped Crusader. We have the 19 Desert T7 from Nightwing's Nightmares as the only character player with Bat CC. He was also the only player last time. I'm willing to bet there's more out there that we just haven't found, just because the incredible amount of shards that people have been able to farm over the last 4 years. But still, what are your thoughts on Bat Cape Crusader?
Yeah, I do have 12,000 shards of Batman Cape Crusader.
That's real. I saw that. It's 12,000. That's insane.
He's one of those you ignore, when you see him in Red Alert, uh, bot teams. But if you are, if you ignore him and do not plan ahead, he can surprise you. His kick still hurts if he's invisible. But I see this more of an investment, or maybe Batman is just his favorite character, or maybe I have a ton of shards in this rebirth crystals that I don't know what to do with, and let's just do Batman. So I think he's usable. He's surpassed by so many other red strikers, but he might be a great investment. Who knows? 5 years from now, he might get a fancy rework like Lex, and you'll be laughing like I'm the first RB5 cower at my feet.
True. I honestly, he's still, I think, completely viable. I think you're right. He probably is slightly outshined by some other red strikers in the game, but his 3 still one shots people, especially if he's invisible, especially if he's RB5. Hopefully the rework comes this year. I know a lot of people have been begging for it, so that means it'll likely come this year. WB seems to be doing a decent job of giving us the characters that we ask for, at least for the most part. Whatchamacallit? I hope he gets a cool leadership, just because I don't think World's Greatest Detective has a cool leadership. I think it's pretty weak as far as leaderships go. So hopefully they bring Batman back to the forefront of how powerful a character he is. But we'll see. That we have yet to see the rework if it ever comes out. So.
I don't want him to be a leader. I want him to have some synergies with the Robins.
Yeah, but he's the leader of the Robins.
Yeah,
I realize that Robin himself has a pretty great leadership now, but damn.
I would like him to see, like, if there's a Robin, they both go invis right away, something like that,
Right.
They work in tandem, but he doesn't have to be a leader, they just work well together.
I could see it.
Anyway, let's not argue this, but
no, I agree. That would be pretty damn cool. If it got put into a leadership, I wouldn't mind that either, but it's fine. Okay, so next up on the list, we have Batwoman. 3 players have her built up. We have Mirror Master, who was previously of the Owls. He is no longer of the Owls. He might have left the game. He doesn't really chat much anymore. I'm not sure if he joined another alliance or if he even logs in.
I think he left the game.
I think so too, because he doesn't really pop into chat very often. He was becoming an uber whale back in the day, and he's kind of a kid, so I'm pretty sure he realized what he was spending and was like, oh, maybe I should like calm the fuck down. So that probably is what happened, but I don't know. And the other 2, we have M4U and Loot from the Owls. So tell us why you rebirth 5 turn.
I'm going to tell you why these people rebirth 5 Batwoman. Okay. So Mirror Master one day was asking, hey, M4, if you were to rebirth 5 someone, who would it be? Okay. And then I said, oh, that's easy. Batwoman. She solves a lot of my problems. And then we got a sale. Someone beat me to it. Now I was like, God dang it. You beat me to the punch. So he would have loved to be the first RB5 Batwoman, but anyway. So there's that. I got my own eventually, a few months after he did. And then Loot, who was my best bud. We've been playing together for so long. And maybe one of the first guys that actually called me Sensei. And in order for me to help him better, don't tell Loot, he copies my rebirths. So the strategy that works for me would work for him.
I don't know. There's another character that we'll get to soon that Loot RB5'd, and I was super surprised at this particular RB5. But continue.
I think I know what you're talking about. All right. So why Batwoman? She's my favorite. Does she work in every situation? Heck no. And I'm gonna take this opportunity to tell the world that she is bugged. Her retaliation does not scale. If they fix that, she'd be a nightmare to face. The retaliation is capped like at 3,000, which is super annoying. But anyway, so when the opportunity presents, she is literally the best at what she does. She can erase two blues. Mine can erase reds sometimes, depending on who it is, and just make it a 4 versus 2 fight. She has great synergies with Clayface. And why do we want an RB5 Batwoman? So you don't need two tunes to deal with problems. You don't need the Deadshot Hired Gun. You don't care. You just bring her RB5, kill blue. Only blue I think that she can't do this to is obviously Eclipso if she misses, and Grundy. Otherwise, if you're blue, you're unprotected, you're dead.
Dang. Even an RB5 Donna Troy?
Oh, he has awareness, so no.
Well, I mean after the fact. If you get a 3 off after the okay.
I might have to crit because there's some funny videos where they think they're protected, and then I brought an Artemis. Well, she pokes the awareness away, and then Batwoman just goes to town.
I bet you love that. That's probably you're probably like, damn, I'm smart when you did that.
Yes.
It sucks though, yeah, because last time you didn't have her RB5 for this. Mirror Master was the only one, and I bet you were like salty about it when I brought the episode out. But
Yeah.
That's funny though. Yeah, she's very good at one-shotting blues. I like Ravager a little bit better. I think Ravager hits a little harder. Like it was actually because shortly after you Rebirth 5'd her, you said something about how she just like takes care of all the blues immediately. And I was like, oh, well, shoot, maybe I haven't done a 2D tune on her. Maybe I should do that. And then I did. And then the 2D tune wasn't that great because mine's only like L4. I waited too long. She got power crept, and some of the blues like survived the kick. And even after I put her like after Clayface, I was a little mad about that. I was like, oh shoot, I was kind of hoping she'd actually like destroy them, but she's a little power crept, I think. And who knows, maybe she'll get a rework this year and her retaliation will get fixed from the bug. But either way, do you have anything else to say about Batwoman?
Oh, she's great. Like, she's great.
Good.
You won't regret it.
Okay. Coming up next, we have Beast Boy, who is still the only one that has ever Rebirth 5 that we know of, is Mr. Zubaz, previously of the Owls. He's still an honorary owl. Whatchamacallit? He loves like the green and the red and the rot and all that, and he's very into like the mystical side of DC, which Beast Boy kind of fits into, despite the fact that most of his stories are Teen Titan related. But he's ever since Beast Boy's rework, he is kind of a badass, and he isn't power crept yet, but he is sped crept. Like he has the AoE turn meter down, and whatchamacallit, like there's obviously the speedsters of January that probably are going to outdo him, but I don't know, maybe he adds to it, because is Impulse a Titan? Would they synergize? You know, all these questions. I know Kid Flash is. I know Wally is, you know, stuff like that.
Let's double check. Only one way to find out is to see if Impulse. He should be.
I agree. I think he should be.
And he isn't.
Oh, what?
His affiliation is just Speedster. That's it.
WB, get on your shit. What do you Jesus. Okay, what do you think about Beast Boy?
I think he's the ugliest toon in the game.
That's
what I think.
That's probably
what I think.
Not even Black Flash? Black Flash is
he's a zombie. Yes,
yeah,
he's for a zombie. He may be good. He may be good looking zombie. What do we know?
Not even Heatwave. Heatwave has the abs, but he doesn't have the face.
Does look like an older Sir. What's his name?
Elton John.
Yes, Sir Elton John. So I'm not gonna diss on it. All right.
Okay,
so Beast Boy. All right. So they kind of fixed the symmetry on his face with the red skin.
Yes, I like the red skin actually quite a bit.
Okay. I guess you want to talk about how well he does at RB5, not how he looks, right? Okay.
Either way.
So All right, so you did touch on his deficiencies with regards to speed. Uh, I mean, even when he came out, Castaway exists. So he's kind of like a, all right, you want Castaway, and here's another extra, how many percent? 15% turn meter down. So I mean, he's slower and reduces turn meter less. But RB5, I mean, you know his merits. He has that off immunity. He can do the jumping around. So what does RB5 do to him? RB5, he can be pretty annoying with all those mends. And is it damage immunity or death immunity? One of those two. Let's double
Damage
check. He
immunity.
gets damage immunity, and he's like, you can't damage him, and then the next turn he's back to full overheal, and then like, oh my god, why did I not bring a stronger green? So he's one of those. If you don't prepare for, normally he isn't. But if you face that RB5 and you don't bring a stronger green, and you can't put buff immunity, you can be in for a long night. Otherwise, I'm not a big fan of Beast Boy.
I think his out of turn
Since-
attack can stack a lot, and you could like he does it more often than you think he will because it's only like a 55% chance I think maxed out with Titans on your team.
Yeah.
But it does happen all the time, and whatchamacallit, he hits pretty damn hard now. Like after the rework, it's a significant
he
improvement
does.
in the damage. And at RB5, I would just be like kind of scared of that. Like there's no real gate to his out of turn attack. It's just like a chance if it happens. So I think the buff he gives with it is just an affinity. What is it?
Affinity power.
Affinity
Affinity resistance, which I tackled the other day, which really doesn't do much.
No, it's really kind of a garbage buff. But whatchamacallit, it's scary because it happens so often, not because of the buff, I guess. But still,
Right. If they change this to something more meaningful, he might actually be a lot better.
Truth. All right, moving on because we have a lot to deal with. We have the next character, Booster Gold. Last time, the only person to have had this character, RB5, was Vincent Young, of course. But this time we have added Grandpa Owl and you, of course. So why did you decide to rebirth 5 Booster Gold?
A few things. For one, I really liked his kit. And I also won World's Finest for Booster.
On the Siege?
And
Was there a Siege?
he was a Siege tune.
Okay.
So I did win that. So he would have been a great signature tune. Right. And
Vincent didn't beat you punch.
yeah, you know how that happened. You know when you a few months ago they changed the those rebirth token siege packs that you
Yes.
get like 60 each bonus tune.
Yeah.
It used to be freaking random. Right. I
Right.
was
It was like
so
200 fragments of one of the random.
yeah, someone. And I was like, all right, this is it. Booster Gold. I have a lot of chances. And I got 0.
No.
Yes, that's why Vincent beat me to it. I was like super annoyed for a while and I had to wait for his sale. So nope, you're not my signature tune. Second tune.
Do you have one? Oh,
Mary.
it's probably, yeah, I forgot about Mary. Yeah. All right, that's fair.
All right, so Booster at RB5 is, I think he would function similar to what you wanted to do with Ravager. So when Batwoman is unviable, meaning there's a taunter, there's awareness, the next best thing is Booster. Other than Grundy, I think he can kill anyone at RB5. Granted that you get the true sight to begin with, because he gets the extra strength ups, but most blues gonna melt with those blasters. And he with the true sight, if you get lucky, you can just hit anyone you want. And his speed is great, 120, just fast enough, but not super fast that you don't have enough Bergers to go before him. particularly Cersei, who's 121. The perfect partner for him.
True. But how do you feel if you don't randomly get that true sight?
He still hits hard. He still that's at RB5 he still hits hard. And there's a way around it. You can use Red Robin.
Oh yeah,
Guarantee that you can kill someone. Like if you
true.
want to, let's say, want to kill an invisible J-Con, but I think it's overkill. And at RB5, he can actually kill green strikers with ease. You will get surprised, like, wait, what? What just happened? I got killed by Booster and I'm a green.
I mean, his basic alone, like even if he doesn't have the true sight, his basic slaps. Like it hits very very hard.
Yep, it does.
I'm sad I don't see him more often in PvP. Like he's a great character. But I think it's just because of that RNG true sight. And I know a lot of people have Red Robin, like you said. But that almost feels like you're just doing the Red Robin Deadshot Hired Gun at that point.
Right, and he's readily available. Red alerts, alliance packs, right? So Deadshot is a lot more available. And also, why would you use someone like this when you can just have a tune sit around and just do it for free?
Oh my god.
No.
You brought it up again. I didn't bring it up, guys. He did.
But anyway, Booster Gold used to be an S tier, just kind of like a tad lower now, but still very, very good.
Heard that. All right, let's move on to Cassandra Cain, who she kind of went into hiding for a bit, but she's back in the forefront, mainly due to Black Flash. There's only one player that we know of that has got her all the way to RB5, and that is mostly Costly, who is no longer of the Owls. He has switched alliances and dropped us like we were hot. Went to the 1500, those little traders. But whatchamacallit, they gave me a lot of shit the other day on their little podcast, and I didn't say anything. I laughed at it, but I was like, little motherfuckers. Anyway, he's probably mad at me still because I was like just oblivious to my own actions. And I like posted about, Cassandra Cain's AoE never misses, never misses. And then like 2 days later,
you got it fixed.
It was instantly fixed like 2 days later, and Costly was probably furious with me, but whatchamacallit, she's still good. She's still great. You know, she does a lot. It's scary, especially against Black Flash. She basically makes you not want to AoE with Black Flash, and that's great. So,
yes.
What are your thoughts on Cassandra Cain?
All right, so I think this Costly stream kind of like, maybe Josh too, worked against Cassandra Cain, because whenever I see that RB5 Cassandra Cain, I was like, oh my god, I need to bring Superboy, because I don't want to bring out any red or blue, because they would just melt.
Correct.
But then I realized something. If she doesn't crit, she doesn't hit that hard, which is surprising. Don't tell anyone. Don't tell Costly that I spread it to the world. So if she doesn't crit, your L5 what you call this? Black Flash is going to survive.
Probably.
But yeah, but still you're not gonna take any chances. She is still one of the most annoying tunes in the game. RB5, if you're not prepared, she's probably gonna kill your reds and blues while you wait for that invisibility to fall off.
Those bleeds are sneaky. Like there's only 5 on each character, which is technically only 15% HP, but it sneaks up on you.
It does, and the most annoying thing about her is she's usually the last tune to survive with the enemy team, which you're trying to just wear it out and then see at the third turn, and then just like lay it on her, like, damn you. You've been evading me for 2 turns. Let me lay it on you. It's like payback. Yes, but in the meantime, she's super annoying where she's gonna like put the buff immunity on your team. and if you're weaker, she's just going to destroy your blues. So is she a good RB5? Yes, because she's one of the annoying RB5s out there.
Agreed. I'm
Cause
surprised more people haven't, because she's had sales since then. She's had unlimited sales since then, and there wasn't some big whale that went out there and bagged her up. So I'm actually surprised that Vincent Young doesn't have her.
I think it's because he just prioritized Artemis and Azrael, which are
Yeah,
definitive better reds than Cassandra.
more well-rounded. Yeah, that's fair. All right, moving on. We have Castaway Green Arrow, who I hope to God is no longer relevant due to all of these speedsters. I feel like there's a speedster for every occasion at this point, and hopefully, I know that Castaway has some special things that is good about him, like when he AoEs, he also goes invisible, which means he triggers Lex and he doesn't get retaliated against, so that's really nice. But he is slower than all of the speedsters. So he is a lot more counterable at this point in time. What are your thoughts on Castaway Green Arrow?
I am one of those people that has an RB5 Castaway, so I am sad that a lot of speedsters kind of just like, well, Black Flash in particular, right? I mean, two moves that does, I mean, it's just crazy. What does Castaway do? 30% turn meter down? Oh,
Uh,
it's just 20%. 20%. And his speed is like 127, and then like this Black Flash comes out of the blue with reset to 0 turn meter and speed of 131. It's like crazy.
I think it's 20%.
Yeah, he 20% turn meter down, right? And then Black Flash is the second move that does the same thing. It's
Right,
just like
exactly. No
so.
damage ability.
So you have so that kind of like removes some of the stock from Castaway. If your main purpose is to turn meter down the enemy team, however, it's still not a complete waste because of his extra, his out of turn attacks.
That
And
also
also,
purge
he's still
on you, yeah.
nice. Still a very good toon. He's well rounded. His kit completely synergizes with itself, and also one of the well designed kits because it just flows, right? He starts with his AOE, turns invis, right, and then your whole team will go, which gives him chance to proc his passive, which now gives you the purge and turn meter down. So the good thing is, he's not gonna be completely irrelevant because if you use him with the speedsters, he actually loves teammates that are faster than him
Why do you say that?
because you can poke with his passive.
That's
You
true.
get the extra purges. The problem with the speedsters is they're fast, but they have no means to purge,
Yeah.
and that's kind of mitigated with Castaway and maybe Red Robin to a certain extent. Because if they go, you get the chance to purge someone. So he's not completely useless just yet. Or
Not
maybe just a tad lower on his viability. He might go down to A tier, maybe. I'll see.
a lot easier to deal with at this point in time.
Correct.
But I guess I forgot to say the names. But we have Loot of the Owls, Vincent Young of the Owls, M4, OC3, Red Frenchie, and Sheriff Lobo. Those are all the guys that had him last time. And then the new one we have is Bullseye the Ocean, who is the leader of the Owls, and is probably kind of salty about it too, just because of all the speedsters. But I think his was more recent than anything. I can't remember exactly when he did his, but almost all of Owls, other than Red Frenchie, who Red Frenchie honestly should be an owl, but with all of his great RB5s. But yeah, so that is Castaway Green Arrow. Let's move on to Catwoman, who there's only one. This is a very unique RB5 right now. Hate Mail of the Owls, who she's like apparently a pivotal piece of his stun team. What do you think about Catwoman?
Uh, I'm sorry, hate mail. I think you're gonna have this unique forever. I don't think she hits super hard. Maybe she does for blues. Uh, sh- I've never had any problems with an RB5 Catwoman. I think it just improves a little bit on her survivability, which is sometimes not even necessary because have you faced her sometimes when she doesn't want to die?
Yes, I have faced her a few times when that happens.
And yeah, it's super annoying, right? And I don't think RB5 is necessary for that. And her main purpose is to purge and stun, not
Right.
necessarily damage. But I think Hate Mail just did it because of for he was running that his first stun team for a while, and he wanted to do full RB5.
Well, he's a bit different
Otherwise,
from you as well because you're more concerned, not more concerned, but you're very concerned about how it works on defense. And Hate was just more happy that it was incredible on offense.
yes, he is. Yes, he just likes that he can deal with any threat because the thing with Catwoman is she purges then stuns.
Yes, that's great.
It's very good. I think she was the first one before Cersei comes out, and then also Cersei's not consistent.
No, yeah, she's only a 30% chance, but it's an AoE.
Yeah. So I don't know what her kit is. Is she a striker? Yeah, I think she is a striker, but she doesn't really hit super hard.
No, she really
So
doesn't.
I think this is more of a trophy RB5 more than anything.
Probably. I mean, I have a few of those myself, so whatchamacallit. She's still hot as hell. She's still a beautiful character. She still has a lot of utility in her kit. Like you said, she purges, she steals, she's invisible most of the time. Like I don't think she has any out of turn attacks, but she can gain turn meter, I guess. But I think she works best on an invisible team with Clayface and other characters like that. Um, she's probably great on a stun team, but I don't play stun teams that often. Killer Frost is not on my like built up roster, so um, great character. Glad he has her, but we're moving on. Unless you have some other last thoughts.
Ready to move on.
All right. So next up we have Connor Kent, who is also a unique owned by OC3 of the Owls. He came out, he was a little underwhelming, I think, to most of us, just because I think he needed just a little bit of help. He wasn't super fast, and he had to use his 2 to be useful or be supported by someone else. And but OC3 took him up to RB5, and every time I fight him, I'm actually a little worried about him because he's a little tankier, he's harder to kill, and when he AoEs, it hurts. It hurts a lot.
Yes. This is one of the perfect samples of where when I say there's no wrong RB5, there's no wrong RB. Because he is, like you said, underwhelming at L5, but goddamn, at RB5, this AoE wrecks. I mean, you're not used to seeing an RB5 Connor Kent, so you see him and like, okay, it's just Connor Kent, and then this double basic. So he was Jay Garrick before Jay Garrick got reworked. So the double basic can't miss.
Right.
That was his thing. It's just that he's a little bit slow, but when he gets to his turn, he's a manual tune. He's never gonna be good on an auto or defense. But he has a lot of utility if you are willing to invest in him. But right now I think he's overshadowed by Garrick. And
Probably.
you're right. Unlike Garrick, who has the 3 strength ups to begin with, he's kind of slow and wants you to purge first to gain his strength ups. So he really needs someone like a Cheetah or a Hippolyta to get him started, and then before he wrecks. But when he does wreck.
Right.
Kill his teammates, and he even gets stronger. And then yeah, I
She just
think he
sets
needs.
it up to do perfectly because she gives him the turn meter and the strength ups right away.
Yep.
She's like a perfect synergy. 1 second, I'll be right back. Keep talking.
Right. So yeah, he's at RB5. He is. I think he would be at least an A tier. So he really did need that Rebirth 5. So otherwise, he's middling too.
Okay, fair enough. Sorry, I had a person come and talk to me. Okay, so we have next up we have Deadshot Hired Gun, who last time the only person to have him was Rickety Warden, 78,900 of the Marvel Alliance, but now he is joined by Dizubilis. I hope I said that correctly. Of Convoluted Heroes. Convoluted, I think. I don't know if they were around last time I did this. It might have been, but they're like a top alliance right now, I believe. I see their advertisements all the time. I think they're at least top 20 alliance, if not top 10. But yeah, what about Deadshot?
They're the longest lasting alliance conglomerate that have not disbanded or rebranded. So shout out to the convoluted guys. So all right, going to Deadshot. Deadshot is a good tune, especially early to mid level. He helps you punch above his weight. So that's his merit. So at RB5, that kind of solves the power creep issue with him. Uh, Originally, he was one of those, okay, I need to kill a blue, let me bring Deadshot. But now there's quite a few blues that he cannot just outright snipe. But RB5 fixes that. Eclipso, beware if you see Deadshot.
For
And
real.
of course, his utility is still up there at mid level. But yeah, RB5, he's gonna snipe most blues. So I think he's still gonna be pretty good. I won't say top tier RB5, but not a bad investment.
There's two things I want to say about him. Is the first one is that the AI, when he's on defense, always starts with his 2, which is so useful, especially for people like me who run Eclipso. And I'm like, okay, good. That gives me some time, to kill him or get him out of the way before he snipes my Eclipso. And the other thing I wanted to say is that I think he's also one of the original characters that is yet to receive a rework. So who knows? Maybe 2021 is his year. He's used to be like the Martian Manhunter of the game, the Lex of the game. It was before Deathstroke got reworked. It was like him all the time, and even after Deathstroke got bluntedly nerfed, Deadshot kind of rose to power again. So he's a very new player oriented leader that I think is very useful. I think I need to gear him up actually, just so I can include a how powerful does this character crit piece of my 2D tunes. So I just have to slot him in as leader and then let my character crit. And
Oh yeah, he's perfect for science experiments.
Right, exactly. It's a guaranteed crit. It's nice to have. It's a good tool to have in the kit. I think because he was so meta for such a long time, I was just kind of turned off. But I see his utility for what it is now, and I'm thankful how the AI decides to deal with it, because I don't have to plug in, like Aquaman as my leader when I run Eclipso, because he takes that turn to buff up first, and that's very useful to me. But yeah, anything else about Deadshot Hired Gun?
If you want to do something fun, use Deadshot with Donna Troy, hit auto, and you just keep using his 2.
That's not fun. That's annoying.
That's kind of funny on the defensive side, but
Probably, yeah. Okay, so next up we have Green Arrow, Emerald Archer, the other Green Arrow. We finally have one. Last showcase he was not there. He was not available. And it is owned by Uragano of the American Alliance. I don't know this player. I haven't seen him very often. I'm pretty sure someone sent me this image. It's a low-powered RB5 just because he hasn't received his rework yet. But he's another one of those original characters that has yet to receive a rework. I know his kit's still good and probably doesn't need it, but he probably still needs a stat boost, if not like just a little bit of a modern touch to his kit. So, what do you think about EAGA?
Yes, he's power crept, and also his kit, while it remains good, is a little less relevant now. That's okay. He had his time in the sun where he was like the de facto best leader in the game. But right now, he's too slow, and you can't crit when everyone has awareness. So his leader's kind of like wasted. At RB5, I have not faced him, but I would imagine that his AoE and his double basic can still hurt some blues. But right now, it's more of an investment rather than utility right now because he's easily countered. But when he gets a rework, he would probably wreck because they've been very good at updating stats when they get reworks. Just look at Jay. He used to hit like a handicap.
Yeah, that's true. Whatchamacallit? I kind of hope a little bit that if you do use him, that his death immunity, he's not super fast, but he's fast enough to get maybe like a turn before you get so turn meter sidetracked that you don't ever get one again. So the AI is also very good at using his like death immunity right away. So I'm hoping that if you're running speedsters, that you don't have a purger and that you could win via you can never kill him because he has a damn death immunity on.
That's gonna take a turn, yeah.
So that would be cool to see, but yeah, there's not much here to talk about until he gets a rework. So still a cool character. I'm actually like I look at him and I wish that he were the good Green Arrow because his costume is way cooler. I like his kit just better in general. And I'm sick of seeing Castaway, who's like I don't understand how Castaway made it into the game since he's like an origin story. It doesn't make any sense to me, but whatever. Moving on, we have Harley Quinn, Mad Jester. The player, there's a lot of players that have her. Last time we only had 3, who were Juicy Fries of the Owls, the previous leader of the Owls, Chet V of Vietnam First, and Damn Beats of Champions of Snoo Snoo. Those were the 3 we had last time. And this time we have Huang Kien 272 from Vietnam First, the Best Master, Scanner 720 of DCARK. I don't know how to Descartes. It's weird. Also, I'm pretty sure the Best Master is in an alliance. I need to find Harley Quinn's art before I can. Oh, here it is. The Best Master is in Kingdom of Atlantis. Sorry about that, guys. Mother Knight, the Flash Family 2.0. Keltio from Italia 2020. They should change that to 2021 at this point. Nobody wants to see 2020 ever again. RR2K from JLA JSA. Jonah Hexaro, who is in Bizarro's number 1 line.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's a lot more this time. Last time we went from 3. I think we moved from 3 to like 10. So Harley is never going away, is what that tells me.
Yep.
Especially this month.
Yeah, her stock just rose. I mean, she never really went away. I still see a lot of Batgirl Harley combos out there. She's severely power crept, but it really doesn't matter. If you can't hit her, she doesn't, right? She's not gonna die if you can't hit her. And her kit still is one of the better designed reworks. And she's one of the first, if not the first rework. No, she's like the second set. I think Soups was the first. So it still holds up. The kit still holds up. It's just the stats, but it doesn't even matter, right?
Her stats still she still crits all the time. She still destroys people.
Yeah. Double hits, double pop, then you get you get int downs, you get rage, Like you really have to account for her. So yeah, this is a really good investment because at RB5 she really hurts blues, especially the intelligence based ones, because they get int downs and then she does physical damage. So yeah, a really good investment, especially this month with Black Flash.
Right. He just runs straight into a wall with her on the team. She basically negates your desire to use Black Flash as AoE. And so does Cassandra Cain. They're two sides of the same coin, basically. Except
Yeah.
Harley Quinn enrages him or everybody else. She enrages you in game and in real life. That's just how I feel about Harley Quinn. Like, she's just always there. She always just annoys the crap out of you. And you see her, like, my problem with Harley Quinn is that I always want to use my cool, well-designed, non-meta teams that are, like, perfect synergies, great together. And then I get up to a team and I'm like, ooh, this team might be cool to go against, and then I see Harley Quinn and it just ruins it because I have no anti-evasion on my team. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, just give me a win, please. I just want to use my team. But yeah, so Harley's a great investment. She's probably never going to go away until the evasion meta is just completely destroyed, and I hope that never happens. But yeah, moving on. This next one is a unique one. It is my unique one for the Reds. I don't really have. Oh, I do have two actually unique Reds. Hush, who I think I'm the only one who has Hush. RB5. I think I'll be the only one that will ever have Hush RB5. I actually like him. I like him a lot. And before I get into my tangent about why I like him, I want to hear your thoughts on Hush.
I'll try to be polite. Okay.
Okay.
You
can
I'm
be
not
rude.
gonna tell you that. I'll try to be polite still.
I don't think you have an impolite bone in your body.
I'm not gonna tell you that you wasted like 50 rebirth tokens on an Arcus wannabe that failed miserably.
Oh shit! I thought you were trying to be nice.
I was being nice. I mean, when he came out, oh my god, this is a red Arcus. Oh my god! And then he came out and like, what the hell is this? And then he's freaking bugged. I mean,
Yes.
it's one thing for a great tune to be bugged. But if you're a crappy tune and you're bugged, and like, what the hell are you doing, right? Uh, Although he's not completely unusable, like let's say an Aquamo or even a Vandal, so he's not that terrible. But I still don't see anyone other than you who would invest in Hush. I mean, I don't even see anyone use him at all, ever. Even in his month, where he was a bonus tune.
Yeah.
I don't think I used him much.
All right. You ready for my analysis?
Sure, hit me.
Okay. So I think that he is a better version of Bane in a way. He doesn't get his out of turn attacks from being overhealed or mended, but he is incredibly hard to kill because he does get his awarenesses. He gets 3 of them. He goes invisible. He gets a shit ton of mends all the time, especially if you pair him with like Ra's al Ghul or someone who can apply silence a lot. Like Orm. Orm is very good at applying silence to people. And he doesn't hit the hardest right away. Like he does kind of scale over time because he gets a permanent strength up for deaths. However, like he, because of his silence, because of his mends, because of his whatchamacallit, invisibility and his survivability, he can 1v1 like what's his face? Hal Jordan. He can 1v1 he can 1v1 tanky greens. Not like Arcus, because Arcus, if you try and use your like challenge ability against Arcus, and you, for some ungodly reason, you don't get your awarenesses because they decided to make it an 80% chance instead of a freaking 100% chance because
I know, right?
their thoughts on that. Like, oh, let's give Arcus debuff and death immunity, but let's only give 80% chance to get some awarenesses. Whatever. If he doesn't get his awarenesses, he dies. However, against an Arcus at least, but he is a long-term character as far as like in a game. Like if you play the long game, he's gonna do some pretty good damage. Like, but I understand that when people play PvP, they don't want to play the long game. They want to get in, win, and get out. That's not Hush's thing. But he has enough control, enough sustainability to just outlast people, and that's why I love him. Not only that, but he also synergizes extremely well with Ra's al Ghul. So that's another thing I love about that. Although they did screw me on 2 characters that I really liked. I liked the Hush kit, so I built it up, and then he was bugged because under Clayface he doesn't attack with his 2. And then Indigo 1, like I wanted her to be good. Then she was bugged 2 times, and then they only fixed one of them. And Reeves said they're still working on the second one, but they haven't fixed it yet. So, a little mad at them for taking what you think to be C tier tunes and keeping them bugged. They probably keep them bugged because they know no one gives a shit except for me. Yeah, but I think he's very viable on my team, and I think because of the speed meta being where it is right now, like Impulse. I know that Impulse isn't going to be everyone's favorite speedster like Black Flash is going to be, but Impulse makes my Ra's al Ghul team actually viable in a way that, like, unless you're up against a Martian Manhunter or a Cheetah, you can survive and win against even Lex teams or Red Hood teams or what have you. And I think he's super fun to me, but that's my analysis on him. I probably beat a dead horse there, but any other thoughts on Hush?
No, I think he can work. Just needs a lot of work, right? And he needs a lot of support. And the problem with his main thing is silence is just not a very good debuff at this point in the game. There's so many
do you think if they change silence like they changed heal immunity to be better, do you think that his stock would rise? Or do you think that his kit is just garbage and you just don't want to have anything to do with it?
It might. I think it's still gonna be that utter garbage, but still pretty bad.
Okay, that's fair. That's a fair opinion. But let's move on. We have Huntress, who there are at least 2 of them. We know of Bullseye, the Ocean, and the Owls. I saw another one in Red Alerts, or it might have been someone else who saw it. I can't remember. It was a long time ago. And it wasn't Bullsey's. So I'm curious whose it is. If it is yours and you're listening, please let me know so I can add you to the list next time. What do you think about Huntress since her rework?
Oh, she is one of those tunes I have a shit ton of shards of, and was actually tempted to Rebirth 5 when she came out. However, her AI is bugged as hell. I don't know what it is with her. Sometimes Batwoman, when they see green, they're like, I want to shoot that green thing.
Wait, what?
Just
Batwoman?
Yeah. Have you not seen the voice streams when I fight him? Batwoman has a thing for Kilowog. She just goes straight for him. It's like, dude, girl, there's Spermy, what's his name? Saint Walker, just right there, wide open, and she won't kick him.
I love how
She
Spermy is your first thought for Saint Walker.
Yeah,
That's fine. It's fine.
She just like, oh, let's kick that big 9-foot tall buff alien. I think I can do a lot.
You think Huntress is that cause?
No, I mean, I think there's something wrong with the AI when she came out. But her main thing is there's no hiding from a team where Huntress is on it. Let's say you have a Cassandra Cain who doesn't quite erase tunes when she does her AoE, but leaves them dying, Huntress is just gonna swoop. You can't hide from Huntress. You can't hide behind a taunter. You can be invisible or both. She doesn't care. I can smell you from where you are. You're bleeding. You're dying. You're mine. So yeah, she is a very good investment. She is actually quite scary at RB5.
She's scary anytime. Like when she redropped under her rework, like she was infuriating because you were like, this has gotta be bugged. There's no way. She couldn't see me. I was invisible and here's a taunter and like XYZ and there's no way she saw me. There's no way. Like she can't just attack me like that. She doesn't have true sight. What the hell? Like everyone was furious about it. Like we've kind of just all accepted it at this point. But whatchamacallit, yeah, she's a monster. She is the game's executioner, like judge, jury, executioner, the whole enchilada. And I think it's really appropriate for her character, and I think that's pretty cool. But yeah, she's hard to kill, and she hits like a truck, and she hits like a truck when you don't want her to. So very good character and very scary character.
And really good against those pesky revivers.
Yes, makes White Lantern Sinestro teams obsolete almost. Not completely, but almost.
Yeah, she's really scary. She's very good.
All right. Anything last to say about Huntress?
I think we got it covered.
Okay. So moving on to Joker, Crown Prince of Crime. We have two people. One was last time CP Joker, the moderator of the CC, had him all the way RB5, like from his rework back in 2019, December. He is of the League of Anarchy. And this is the one that really surprised me from Loot. Loot is also Rebirth 5'd him. And Loot has an interesting strategy. He just rebirths people he thinks will help him win the current siege. And for some reason, he was sitting on a stack. This is of my understanding of the situation. I might be wrong, but he was just sitting on a stack of rebirth tokens or something, and he was like, "You tell the story because you probably know it better than I do."
So the one month he won World's Finest for Ultraman, I believe, yes, I'm certain. Joker is the rework, and is it the rework or a bonus tune or both? But anyway, he was a bonus tune, and he decided to. All right, Joker is great, but he's a glass cannon. Let me fix that by taking him RB2 or RB3. Then recently he's again a bonus tune, and I was like, you know what? I already invested. I have the shards. Let me take him all the way to RB5 so he can be super annoying. Joker can be super annoying. He, especially in Siege, because if you kill him, he's gonna retaliate, and he at RB5 he's gonna take your blues down with him. So he really is a good Siege tune. Actually, is good annoying tune. There's not a whole lot of special damage. Red, I think there's 3 of them, and he's one. Other 2 being Artemis and Dr. Poison, who kind of at this point. Yeah, he is a very good tune. It's just that he's very squishy. And at RB5, it fixes that. Well, it doesn't really fix it. It just mitigates it a little bit.
Right. But I honestly think that he hits harder than even Artemis does. Like Artemis is tanky and she doesn't have a high crit chance, but she also gains the buffs and ramps. Joker doesn't really need the ramps. He just needs you to bleed, and he's already destroying you piece by piece. And I think what?
He does int downs. That's why it kind of hurts a little bit more.
Does he apply the int downs before the damage is dealt? Because that would understandably make him hit harder. Because it does feel like he hits massively hard. His 3 especially is designed to execute people.
It just erases anyone, and then it also applies heal immunity. So here's another work of DC. I believe I'm not 100% certain, but if the buff or debuff is on the basic ability. And I say basic, not the basic move, but the base ability, not the legendary. It applies, and then legendary applies after. I've noticed
Mm,
that. I don't know if it's always the case, but a lot of tunes do that. You would notice, like, why didn't it do that? Oh, because it's in its legendary. It doesn't apply right away. You go in sequence, not happens at the same time. Oh, I think he does the int dance first. He do some
that
testing.
makes sense. It just surprised me as well because it really didn't feel like Loot's like play style. Like Loot's kind of like a get in, get out, win kind of guy.
Yeah,
And
he's-
Joker doesn't feel like a get in, get out character to me. He seems like a squishier Arcus that bleeds and debuffs instead of buffs up.
I bet he's never used him in raid, but in siege, yeah, he did use him.
Interesting. All right, well, moving on. We're almost done here. We have about 4 characters left. The next one we have Metallo was not available for the last RB5 showcase, but we do have 2 of them by the Owls, Hate Mail and OC3. I think Hate Mail was the first because he fit in the stun team and was a turn 0 taunter. And then OC3 followed suit because he realized that Metallo does a lot of damage and, might as well mitigate the squishiness by bringing him to RB5.
Well, OC3's reasoning is because he's a Superman fanboy
That's true. I
and
forgot
he's a
about that.
Superman. I think he regrets bringing him to RB5.
You think he regrets it?
Because at RB5, he still dies. Right,
Oh,
here's his
shit.
problem. He's a turn 0 taunter, and his only damage mitigation is crit immunity. However, he is a physical support. He has a physical support gear set, which has a high strength, and guess what? He dies. So at
They should have given
RB5,
him survivability.
but he doesn't. That's the thing.
I know. They should have given it to him, though.
Yeah, I mean, he can hit hard because if you don't kill him, he's gonna ramp, and then when he does his AoE thingy, you die. But he's not that hard to kill, though, right? I mean, Lex, Marcus, on from Martian Manhunter. Yeah, he's not a very good turn 0 taunter. I think that's why OC3 regrets it. He does fit his teams perfectly because Connor with Hippo with the strength ups kind of fits, but he's
True.
not a very good turn counter.
It's unfortunate, but yeah, you're probably right. But at RB5, I felt like that would hopefully mitigate that. But at the same time, I don't think I've seen Hate Mail use him very much since either. So,
Yeah.
but he was very high on Metallo the few months after he came out. So I wonder what changed that. I'm not entirely sure because Lex and Arcus are all older reworks.
Right.
So anyway, anything else on Metallo?
No, not really.
Okay. Moving on to Red Hood, who we also didn't have last time. And we have 2 people for Red Hood, Wendy P5 from Gods Among Monsters and Sheriff Lobo from the Owls. Red Hood, ever since his rework, and even before that, was like a fan favorite. Everybody loved his kit. Everybody thought he was a great leader. He doesn't necessarily hit hard all the time, but he can if he wants to. And he's honestly just a really freaking annoying character. What are your thoughts?
Red Hood is one of the better red leaders, maybe the best red leader. That RB5, he is going to be great on any spot. Ever since his rework, his AoE hits a lot harder, and at RB5 he just wrecks. I mean, I have him RB3, and his AoE just wrecks, and with heal immunity to boot, right? So RB5, he can kill, he can steal. Every move that he does hits hard. So I think he's a really good RB5.
Yeah, I agree with you on the AoE. It does kind of delete blues in right where they stand, and then at that point, you've brought the turn meter for that team back down to pretty much 0, if not 0. And then you can do it again shortly after. Like he's a snowball character
Yeah.
basically, and he lets your team snowball. And having the RB5 increases his survivability, increases his damage, and if he can't kill you, his bleeds will. So he also synergizes perfectly with one of my favorite characters in the game, Silver Banshee, who I'm sad no one's
Oh,
RB5'd. I still to this day regret not RB5ing her. She's amazing, and I'm sad I missed that opportunity.
on Silver Battery.
What'd you say?
I was tempted because I want to piss off hate mail.
Yeah, that'd be funny. But yeah, anything else on Red Hood?
Well, assist on Red Hood, and you like fireworks.
Yes. Yeah, that's true. Okay, so moving on, we have a very recent, like within the last 3 weeks, RB5 Stripe from Hawkeye of the Owls. He went balls to the wall on the PvP in Wraith Arena. I think was it December or November? I can't remember. There was a month. I think it was December.
I think it was December.
Yeah,
And I don't know anyone else who's gone that route. RB5 someone.
true. I think Hawkeye is the first to. He already had him like RB1, RB2, something like that. But he spent all month clearing boards, getting the board clear over and over again. I think he cleared over like, I don't remember the exact number, but it was hundreds of boards.
I think he did. I think he said something like 6,000. Right? What he said, something like that. It's an insane amount of.
That's insane.
Beef.
Yeah.
Yes. So
0
much
family time, 0
yes.
free time, the entire
Right.
month.
It's more expensive than money because his time is probably worth a lot, and he
The
did
man
that.
probably didn't sleep. He probably didn't eat. He probably like couldn't have sex with his wife. Like I feel like the guy was probably exhausted all month and was just like pissed at WB and pissed at the world probably. But he got all of the shards for RB5 on Stripe, and that's freaking insane and awesome, and I love it.
Yeah, and it fits perfectly with his teams because he has strength-based characters, right?
He also has
Hawkeye.
Parasite too, though.
Oh yeah, he does have Parasite, which is super annoying. Does nothing but annoy you, which literally just does nothing, stand there and annoy you. But anyway, this is about Stripe.
Yeah.
I want to say I have not faced Stripe. I do know that L5 he is already super tanky and like hits really hard, and I can just imagine at RB5 when you kill someone, he's just gonna go nuts. Because he's one of those, right? He called assist on himself. He jumped again, and then he kind of jumped again, and then he's like wondering why is he jumping all around. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't care. He just jumps. He just kills.
If he
And he
keeps
just
killing with that jump, then he will keep jumping.
I know, right? It's like I know why he assisted the first time, but the second time I'm not quite sure.
Right.
It's cool. Okay, thank you. I don't want to comprehend. Just do your thing. I'll just stay out of the way. RB5, yeah, there's gonna be a whole lot of jumping going on.
Agreed. He's a cool character for sure, and I'm glad that someone went out of their way to go get some like no-name character that is kind of fun just to have and RB5 them. I think that's super awesome, very unique. He's probably going to be one of the few people to have him. I think eventually someone will re-RB5 him, but it's going to take an event or a great sale to do that.
So he has place in history for doing this RB5 Stripe and the way he did it. I am also a little bit disappointed, Hawkeye, that you have not changed to the basic skin. I mean, I'm looking at him right now. He looks like a silent.
The basic skin is awful. Don't ever do that. The legendary is amazing. Keep that, please. Dear God, do not ever change that.
His legendary looks Like he's from Battlestar Galactica. He's a silent. This is not
Yeah,
Stripe.
but his basic looks like a tin can. Looks like we're Dorothy and in the Yellow Brick Road kind of thing.
That's what it looks like. Didn't you watch the Stargirl show? That's what it
I
looks
did.
like.
I like Star. I actually haven't finished it. I need to go back and finish it, but I don't know. I digress. It's cool legendary in my opinion. I'm not a fan of the basic. It's kind of like Heatwave. Like Heatwave has a cooler legendary and a really shitty basic.
That
Like
I would agree with
I
you.
despise Heatwave's basic, but some people love it. I don't get it. It's like, why would you want that nasty ass asbestos suit?
Uh,
It's
it,
weird.
it's like he stole his dad's costume when he was a kid, and it's like it doesn't fit him. That's kind of what it looked like. If they made it a little bit tighter, more his size, like look at the tag, man, and then see choose the one in your right size. It would have fit better. It would look a little better, but
Maybe. I'm kind of just a fan of the abs, but it's fine. Um Either way, congratulations, Hawkeye. You worked your ass off for it. I don't want to pull away from your achievement. It was pretty damn good. Um but moving on, we do have a couple more characters. I actually forgot one. I added one to the list just a second ago.
I did.
Yeah. I saw the art and I was like, oh fuck, we forgot that in the alphabetical order. So it's a little out of alphabetical order, but it's fine. It happened also like 2 days ago. So this one is not the one I was just talking about. This one's mine. It's Talia. We've already kind of discussed Talia last time, but I want to hear your thoughts on her. And because Hate Mail really likes her and is sad that I'm the only one that has her. What are your thoughts on Talia?
I know why Hate Mail likes Talia.
I know why everybody likes Talia.
I don't think it's the kit. So I'm
No.
looking at her model, and she can run for the best looking female model in the game.
Agreed. Probably agreed. Her basic kind of
Like,
sucks, I'm not gonna lie, but the
yeah,
legendary is
the
good.
legendary, like mm, well made.
Just say it. She's got a fat ass. It's fine. Just say it.
Yeah, look at Starfire and compare her. Like, why can't you make anyway? Let's talk about an R5 Talia.
Right.
All right. So she's one of those. She's not terrible, but she's not great either. Right? I don't
Okay.
know if you agree, but her kit brings. I mean, it's kind of unique, and I think at RB5, she's. I haven't faced yours, or maybe if I did, it was like months ago. So I'm sure I just killed it with some green. But she's kind of cool in the sense that if you put her in a bleed team, she's likely not gonna die. And then I'm sure she can kill. She's kind of like Ravager, those not very popular, but when if you invest in them, they kind of like, hey, she kind of hits hard and actually does very well. So she's not gonna be meta, I don't think anytime soon, but invest in her. I think she's really good if you kind of like put the right tools around her. She's not plug and play by any means. Put her in
No.
a bleed comp, ask bleed comp, and she's just gonna tank someone, right? Kind of like the what's her name? Black Canary, where she can like gain evasion, just doing her basic over and over. So you can
Yeah.
just like one v1 someone, then if they're bleeding, like he won't die. So she's cool. She looks cool. Not great, like I said, but very viable if you just put her in the right comps.
Right. And that's kind of what I have to deal with her. Um, my favorite thing about her is the death immunity. Makes her sustainable a little bit. I do think that if they do rework her eventually, they need to change it from 10 bleeds on a specific target to 10 bleeds on the enemy team. I think that would be much better and much more attainable because right now I have to like over strategize to get 10 bleeds on one character in order to maintain a death immunity on her. Um, I did recently find out like I was up against a Lex Power Girl team, and that is one of the more annoying teams right now because Power Girl just keeps them fully overhealed all the time. And so I brought Cheetah as my lead because Cheetah and Talia to me are just inseparable. And instead of purging off the taunt with Cheetah right away, I used the bleeds to put 5 bleeds on her. And then I brought Talia and I used Talia's 2 to steal the taunt
Yeah.
and the death immunity. And then, whatchamacallit, that was 10 bleeds right there. So even if I didn't get to steal the death immunity, if she had like some strength ups or something that I stole instead, I still gained a death immunity anyway. So now I'm taunting and I have death immunity, and there's 10 bleeds on the character, and I actually easily won that fight. I'm working on a new bleed team because whatchamacallit, I love Suicide Squad Deadshot, but I want it to be like a full bleed team. So I'm now working on Black Manta. Whatchamacallit. So I think she's really great. I think her 3 is amazing. It's an execution ability. It applies heal immunity, so I can make sure that Swamp Thing or White Lantern Sinestro or all those revive comps can like end at easily. And she has, I don't think her evasions are very good. I think if you're gonna make her an evasion character, she needs to get more of them or have a way to use her basic out of what?
Doesn't stack the evasions fast enough.
Right, and they kind of fall off before you get a good stack. So like I think she needs to get an out of turn attack for her basic if she wants to stack those better. But overall, she's probably a B tier character. She's probably going to maintain that position for a while until she gets a rework, hopefully eventually soon this year. I know I already got my Ra's al Ghul rework, but here now I'm praying for Talia. Any other thoughts on Talia before we move on?
She should have learned from her dad how to do out of turn attacks, right?
Oh my god,
She would.
his out
She
of
would have
turn
been.
attacks, so good. Anyway, final physical character for
I'm so jealous.
the Rebirth 5 showcase. Not in alphabetical order. It happened like 3 days ago. Hate Mail decided to Rebirth 5 Lobo, and has now created one of the scariest RB5s in the game, in my opinion. What are your thoughts?
My thoughts is, I'm jealous.
Agreed.
I wish he got the 6-day event instead of Prod.
I agree.
At RB5, he doesn't need the revives. You don't care. He's just gonna murder everyone. You want to
Maybe.
kill him. You want to kill him for last, but if you leave him for last, he's just going to erase you with that AoE, stun you, bleed you, and then if you kill someone from his team, he's just gonna force you to hit him, and you can't hurt him because he's RB5. I think he's gonna be a pain in the ass to deal with. And I have not seen him yet. And late mail says that an L5 Arcus cannot kill him. So
I could see that because he's already tanky as shit at L5. L4.
No.
Mine's L4.
Yeah, and if he gains those stamina ups, it's just gonna be impossible to kill. Not even Atom can kill him.
You're gonna need to bring Zod and hope Zod gets a crit on his basic.
I doubt he can kill him.
I know, I agree.
Zod has like power crept to them. I wonder if they buy Atom to kill him. You know, Atom does extra damage to stamina up too, right?
Oh yeah, Adam's definitely the one to bring here. Absolutely. For real. No. There's a lot of Adam fans actually that I'm surprised no one decided to Rebirth 5. It's fine. But yeah, Lobo is scary. He's got in an age where turn meter manipulation is king, Lobo is gonna sit on that throne. Like he's gonna be unkillable. He's going to maintain his taunt. He's going to be able to AoE you probably multiple times in one fight. And after the second one, you probably don't stand a chance at recovery. So, very scary. I'm very sad that he didn't get the event, and I didn't feel like I've kind of running this new motto. Like if they don't get the 6th day, then I don't get to Rebirth 5 them because I'm not trying to spend an ass load of money every month on some random character I'll never get to RB5. He didn't get the 6th day, and I was like, he's dead to me. So
I did get an RB I got RB3 shards of them, but I've been flip-flopping on my strategy whether I want more RB3s or focus on RB5s. So, but yeah, I don't want to buff to spend all those old A gems on RB5 shards that you're not even sure if you're gonna pull the trigger right away. So
Right. Exactly. And it's so hard too because you don't know what's coming out soon this year or not, and like you're like, oh shit, is this character going to be viable in 6 months? I don't know. So maybe RV3 is just the spot to sit for a while.
I know I'm sad with my Cersei. Stupid black magic sis.
I think she's still plenty viable if she gets a
She
turn.
is.
But yeah, guys, that is the Rebirth 5 showcase for the physical affinity. I want to thank SilverFox again for making all the beautiful art we saw during this video. I want to thank M4 for being here and giving us his tactical analysis of all these characters. Do you have any last words, M4?
No, I'm just happy to be here. Finally, guesting on your channel. I don't think I've ever had it. No, I've never been. Right? Yeah,
No, this is your
you've
first
been.
time.
I know I've invited you, so I'll be happy to return the favor. So
Well, I already interviewed you once on your stream. So this is me returning the favor, kind of, but also like I value your opinion. So glad to have you.
and happy to be here.
All right. Well, perfect. That's this one. Hopefully next time we'll have another guest. We'll get a different affinity in. Hopefully it won't last 2 hours. And thanks guys. Have a great night.